We're going with Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris.
I'll probably go Chuck Norris. Heard some small stories about Bruce Lee, not like just only doing like other stuff, but Chuck Norris actually going in the tournaments and actually fighting. So Chuck Norris.
The feeling of seeing like a body just like drop cold in the mat, it's beautiful. It's just you applying the technique and seeing that it's just one touch, it's just 1 second, and the body just drops cold and the person cannot move, you know.
Everybody says, you get your top 5 athletes out there, on a basketball team. You got Barkley, you got Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, all that. Who's your top 5 fighters you walk into anywhere, ain't nobody fucking with, you guys knocking everybody out?
Shit, I got Francis Ngannou. I got Izzy. I got Demetrius Johnson. And I got Kamar Usman. Oh, I got one more?
No, you included. So Nikes or Jordans?
Go with Jordans all day. I'm rocking some right now, bro.
What you got on? Let's see real quick, man. You got the 13s on? What you got, bro? Man? Let's see. He walking into the gym. Retro 5. OG, white cement. Take us into the locker room with you. So when you're walking out of there and your name's being announced, what's going through your mind? Are you... Yes, y'all. MMA Locker Room here, Pub Sports Radio. Don't worry about the mother shows. We the best out, seconds out. You know how it is, man. We're just recapping a big week in UFC last week. You had the Almeida versus Rosenstruck, man, main event. Kicked it off real nice and early. Had a lot of banging fights on the card. Ian Gary versus Daniel Rodriguez. Tarina Lisboa versus Jessica Rose Clark. Where else can we go with it? It was just bangers on there galore. Cody Stamann versus Andrade. Did he really win? I don't know. You know what I mean? But hey, man, it was a great week over here at Pub Sports Radio. Shout out to the people who won in the UFC contest too, man. $100 again. Just giving out like that, man. So make sure you guys enter your weekly picks into this week's contest because it's going down. Pub Sports Radio again, man. We got another live stream coming up this Saturday. Mackenzie Dern versus Angela Hill's the main event, but we'll get into that a little bit later on, man. So we got a special guest right now in the locker room. Coming off a real impressive win. What was it? About 2-3 weeks out now? I'll say about 3 weeks out now. They say, hey, man, when you get that call and you get that go time, you got to know when it's ready to go. So what they do, man, it was a short notice fight taking place, and they needed somebody to fill in. Fill in for who? I think it was Brian Keller. Yeah, Brian Keller somehow just got hurt, got injured. We don't know. But Johnny Newsom was left alone with nobody to dance with. Nobody to dance with until they say, hey, man, let me get on this phone. Let me go ahead and call some people. So who they call? They called the guy named the Maniac, man. And a lot of people out there in the MMA world, they might know him, they might not. But we did. And that guy that they called was Marcus McGhee.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
How's it going, man? Welcome to the show.
It's going good. I was happy to get the call.
Hell yeah, man. So let's just speak on some stuff real quick, man. Marcus McGhee, thank you for coming on to the show, coming off an impressive win in your UFC debut. But, for the people out there that don't know who you are and everything, let them know where you're at, what team you train with, and, what's your fighting skill and style like?
Yeah. So I'm Marcus the Maniac McGhee. I'm out of Phoenix, Arizona at the MMA Lab. Been with the MMA Lab about 6-7 years now. Been riding under the radar. Also, father of 4, husband, just grinding it out. So I'm a striker for the most part. Most people know me as a striker, but I wrestle pretty good and have some jiu-jitsu as well. So I like to be building up on each one of my styles and add them all into what we encompass mixed martial arts to be. So that's a little bit about me. Also into gardening, skateboarding, was a semi-pro professional skateboarder when I was younger. So did that for a long time. And yeah, just like to have a good time.
Got it, man. So, okay, we see where you're at now. Let's take it back a little bit before that. As a kid, you said you were a professional skateboarder. Were you doing mixed martial arts then? Was it something that you just decided to do when you got older? How did you get into mixed martial arts?
So I've always been into martial arts. I wasn't into mixed martial arts just because we didn't really have money growing up. It was just my mom. My dad was in prison, so basically, my brothers and sisters weren't into mixed martial arts. We thought it was just fighting, scrapping on the street. It really wasn't like the art behind it. But for me, I was into like a lot of old school kung fu, karate movies. So Ip Man, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, what's it called? Tony Jaa, all those guys. I was just really into that, and that was kind of me growing up, being into that, being into anime, and all those things led to me just practicing on my own. And I was always fighting. We grew up in different neighborhoods. I was moving around a lot, and I was a protective type of guy, so I just wanted to fight, and I was into fighting, and that's something I was into. But it wasn't until I was getting into the military and and a gym opened up across the street from where I was working at that I actually stepped in the gym and realized like this is actually something I could do as a career.
Got it, got it. So how many years did you serve in the military?
I didn't serve in the military at all. No, so I was actually trying to get into military. I had to get since I got a tier 2 high school diploma, I had to go to college to get 15 college credits before I can actually enlist. This all came after I went back to school because I got kicked out of school when I was like 18 years old. I didn't go back till I was 20. Finished up back at a charter school, basically got my high school diploma, but that high school diploma was only a tier 2 high school diploma. So they're like, "Yep, college." And I went to college for a little while, but I was working at the same time. Already had 2 kids. Life was in shambles, and it just didn't work out. But in that time, I started training and focusing on fighting and learning things about that, and kind of like everything went from thinking about being in the military and all those things to just training and fighting and working basically.
Got it, man. So it seems like you didn't have it easy to start off with anything. You pretty much had to juggle a lot of things. 2 kids, working and fighting at the same time. It definitely seems like it's not nothing that the average man can do. With that being said, though, let's speak about a little bit your first actual taste at training with the MMA lab to where you knew like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to turn around my life. This is what I want to dedicate. I'm a mixed martial artist. What point was that at?
So I was with a gym called Dog Pound. One of my old coaches, one of my first coaches, Aaron Favors, was our main coach, and there wasn't many of us. And I was training hard, driving, just doing everything I could for the gym, just trying to get everything to build up so we had more training partners. And at that time, we also were going to UFC gym, which Randy Stanky was over there, Joe Riggs, Sugar was over there already, Tim Welch was over there. And I was always talking to those guys, and they had always offered me to go to the lab. And I kind of always been like a loyal dude, so I was like sticking to where I was at. But things kind of fell apart. The gym kind of fell apart where we were at, and me and my best friend, one of my main training partners, Talon, ended up going over to the lab. And yeah, the story kind of unfolded there. We just stayed there from there on out.
Got it, man. That's what I like to hear, man. So you've been putting in a lot of time with one camp, then you switch it up, to a new camp, and you've been with them now for about 6 years. So that's real good to see, man. Real loyal right there. So yeah. Seems like he might have fell off right now. Think he might have fell off, but he'll be right back on though. So yeah, let's speak on a little bit of other things that I found out. So you're a big guy in the cannabis industry. A big grower at that. Advocate for it. That's what I do remember when you did walk out at that LFA fight. I was just like, man, he's all about that cannabis life. So I want to speak about that a little bit, because there's some fighters out there that think that smoking marijuana or cannabis products might render their training. Have you ever had that render your training, or does that actually help you? And have you noticed anything in your cardio or anything like that?
So I always tell guys, don't take me as a base, because like cannabis has been part of my life for a long time now. I was in the cannabis industry for almost 10 years. So when it started out here in Arizona, and it's really a part of my life. So I smoke regularly, and For me, I don't even do it to. It's not something that helps my training or hurts my training either. You know, it's just something that's a part of my life, and I feel like it's how you train, right? If you're training hard and you're putting in the work necessarily, and you're not abusing, you know, over smoking or constantly or smoking out of things you shouldn't be smoking out of, you know, things like that. It's never affected me. It never hurt my ability to come out and fight hard. I like to keep a high pace going, you know. Most people know me for that, even in the gym. You know, they know me for being that guy that's going to put a high pace on, and it's going to be action. So, yeah, for me, no, man, no. I think it's a great healing agent. I think it's great for the mind. I think it's great for meditation. I mean, there's so many attributes that cannabis give, but none of them really stick out more or less for as far as training goes for me.
Let me ask you something now, because you said you like to keep a high pace. How many fights, if any, have you fought high?
So that's one thing I never do. I've never fought, not even any of my amateur fights, never fought high. I'm really big on like being really present, you know what I'm saying? And I think being a cannabis smoker helps that as well, because I mean, it does promote presentness, but like, especially when it comes to the fight, you know, especially comes to fight week and all those type of things, I really want to be present and thankful for the moment. And I don't want to let any moment kind of pass by. And that's why I'm really big on not smoking during fight week. And I'm not against other guys doing it, you know, like, but yeah, I've never fought high.
Got it. Yeah, because it seems like you know, UFC passed that law, you know, that rule to where now you can smoke. And you know, I talked to a few fighters. I never really knew they smoked like that. Now, I mean, they just be telling me all type of stuff, and I'm like, all right, man, but your fight's Saturday, like, you know, like, bro, it's Tuesday, you know, like, I get it, like,
Yeah.
but
Hey, man, be honest. I didn't know I was getting called to fight in the UFC, so you know, I didn't get to quit that too until before the fight. So it was kind of cool still that I had plenty of time. So even if there was an issue, it wouldn't have been an issue. But based off like how long you have before weigh-ins and all that stuff. But yeah, man, you know, I was definitely still smoking up to that point. You know, like it's not like anything had changed. I was waiting to hear about a fight. So yeah, it's very prevalent in what I do. I train constantly. I mean, smoke is just part of my life, you know, so it's not like I smoke to go train or I got to smoke to go train, but there's a lot of times where I do that, you know, and again, for my performance, it doesn't affect me. And who's to say it doesn't affect everybody differently, but I just utilize things differently and I have a different way of thinking about things, I think. And I think that adds to me as overall.
No, I agree, man, 100%, man. Like, I medicate all the time, you know. It's just part of, like you said, it's part of something you do to where you do it routinely. I used to even do it as a sophomore in high school, you know, and then I go and study on my psychology test and I passed that test, you know, because I was like, oh, I was at home smoking, you know, studying. So it'd be the same thing when I go take a test. It never like rendered me. Same thing with going to the gym. I smoke weed, go play basketball. Smoke weed, go to 24-hour fitness. Smoke weed, go to UFC gym. Like, I don't know how it is kind of not to smoke weed and do those things for like 6 or 7 days, you know, but so I kind of feel you on that, you know.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah, man. So let me ask you, what's your favorite strain then, man? You an indica guy, you a sativa guy, you a hybrid, you a bong smoker, you like smoking out the blunts? Talk to me.
I like all the strains, but I like hybrids. I just like different types of collaborations of strains, you know, like cheeses mixed with exotic strains or like really gassy strains mixed with sweet strains, you know. I like hybrids for the most part. Like anything I grow, because I grow as well. Mostly hybrids that I grow. I do get like some of the old school, like I had some DJ Short or I'm killing it right now. DJ Short Blueberry, right? So I had some of that for a while, and that was just like a main indica that I had. But for the most part, I like hybrids, and then anything that just has like a lot of terpenes, like really potent terpenes, and then like good cannabinoids. Like I'm not crazy on THC. THC doesn't really matter to me that much. Like I'll smoke something that's at 15, 16 if it has all the cannabinoids and THC levels I want to see, or excuse me, cannabinoids and terpene levels. And then if I had to say my favorite thing to smoke out of is just a good hemp blunt. I use those high hemp blunts a lot of times. But I also get like there's these new ape ones out that are hemp blunts as well. So I usually stick to hemp blunts for the most part. Sometimes I'll use hemp papers, some of the raws, you know. And then dabs as well. You know, I like taking dabs, especially like like live, any type of live product, live. I don't care if it's live resin, live
Live
rosin. You
resume,
know,
yeah, yeah.
that's the way to go.
Got it, man. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I always the live resume. I like the plug and play, man. The little vape pens. It's this brand called Plug and Play. Man, it's a strong one, and I know they got them out there too in Arizona because I'm from Cali. But yeah, man, it's a brand called Plug and Play, man.
I'm at,
Guaranteed.
I'm gonna have to check him out. I'm gonna have to check him
Yeah.
out because I know we got like that cake strain that's out, or that cake brand that's live rosin out right now. There's only a few companies that got like live rosin out here right now, and then they have some live resin cartridges too that are out. But yeah, man, what's the name of that one again?
Plug and Play.
Plug and play. All right, bet.
Sure.
If I say it twice, I usually learn it. So it's plug and play. I
And
got
once you repeat it, right? Hey, it's the
it.
same thing. It's like if you write it down and if you say it, it's usually in your mind. You know, you
Yeah,
trained it twice. You know.
yeah.
Hey, so speaking about training, man, I'm gonna start it off like this, man. What was going on with the Joshua Medina fight and then the Derek Brown fight? Because those were way back in the amateur days, but after that, it seemed like everything turned around. We like to call it like a mythical creature sometimes in the MMA world. Was this before the dreads, and then once the dreads came, like talk to me though. I want to speak on those two losses, and then what turned around from there to where you just been killing it on the winning streak.
Yeah, I think it was just the approach, not to put it on coaches or gyms or anything like that, but that played a big part in it. I wasn't training nearly the same way for a fight. I wasn't prepared as much for those fights as well. And I didn't even know I was really fighting those guys, like I didn't really look up opponents or know opponents. But the Joshua Medina, literally, when I showed up to that weigh-in, I sat next to him and we were both sitting in the room. We're just sitting there chilling. And he's so tall. He's like 6'3", yeah, 145. And I'm sitting there, and next thing you know, they call us both up, and he gets up. I'm like, I for sure thought this was not going to be the guy I was fighting. And now this is the guy I'm fighting. So just making mistakes, making mistakes against guys who were game. Both those guys were at good gyms. Both those guys have been training, with a team for a long time. I was just at the UFC gym at that time, had multiple different coaches coming in and coming out. That was my first year fighting too. So I think I had been fighting maybe maybe 9 months at that point, 10 months. So I think that played a big part. But, I didn't make any excuses. This is the fighting game. You can lose any day, even against guys who are not as good as you. Not to say those guys aren't, but yeah, just things happen. So I think I made mistakes in my preparation. That was the biggest thing. And didn't capitalize on certain things. Because I tried to power bomb that Joshua Medina guy like 4 times in the first round.
Damn. Yeah, tall old 6'3" guy. Yeah, that ain't the way to go on that one.
100%.
All
I ended
right.
up putting myself right into an arm bar on that one. Like I was beating him up for the whole round and then put myself into an arm bar. It's just like making subtle mistakes, and that happens. It's a part of the game, and that's what we train for as much as we can. And get prepared for and sharpen the tools. Like I put myself in a lot of dangerous positions a lot more regularly now. Because those are what matter. Like it's cool to focus on things I can do well, but it's a lot cooler and a lot better to focus on the things I know I'll have an issue with, so that when I get there, I'll be calm.
Man, speaking on that, man, your fight with Rafael Montini, he was able to get you back with some takedowns, earlier on in your career. What adjustments have you made since then?
Just working on that position, right? I've done that position probably 2,000 times since then, 2,000, 3,000 times. I try to get myself in that position every single day, and just work for it, because that's the only thing I can do, right? Try to build up on that skill. And even in the cage, I made certain mistakes, and even like being calm. Like I'm the type of guy that in a fight, like I want action, I want to be going, so letting myself be calm in that moment and let myself lose for a little bit, like somebody's on my back. Just don't get choked out, right? Instead of trying to, no, this fool's about to get off my back, I'm about to give him hands. That's what's fits to happen. It's like taking my time through moments, understanding that we had 15 minutes, and that's a beautiful thing. We can use every moment of that.
No, I love it, man. Because one thing I talk about with the fighters when I get to talk to them here, Pub Sports Radio, Seconds Out, is I notice a lot of fighters, if they have a weakness in something, they don't train it at the gym. You know, you see that same guy doing strikes, you know, striking on the heavy bag to where it's like, all right, maybe for the last 45 minutes after practice, you should work on your takedown defense. You never see them really just drill that, you know, for like 6 months. You know, they still do what they're good at, do what they're good at. If you're good at jiu-jitsu, hey, we're going to get on this mat and we're going to roll. Instead of actually working on your striking. And you know, hey, I've only been striking for probably about 2 or 3 years. I've been doing jiu-jitsu my whole life. I got that. They don't work on that. So, I mean, it's good to hear about that. So, I want to speak about the highlight, though, man. This highlight. I'm talking about, man, y'all know Demetrius Johnson did the jump up arm bar on Ray Borg or some shit like that. Man, what you know about the flying knee into a rear naked choke that my man Marcus McGhee pulled off with, man? If you guys don't know about it, you guys got to look it up, man. Speak to me about that move and yeah, man. What happened with that?
I want to get that off because I didn't finish it. And again, it was just because like I like to strike, right? One of the things I felt like I made a mistake in that fight was I was deep into the rear naked choke. I had everything I wanted to finish. I should have finished him right there, right? But instead I was like, nope, let me give him these hands instead, you know, completely gave up the position. But that's something I do practice. I've been trying to practice it, but a lot of it plays on what the other guy does, you know? Like he's got to make the mistake to go grab under the leg, and then that gives me the leverage to swing around to the back, you know? But man, that would have been legit if I had actually finished that, right?
Man, it was legit the way it looked already, you know? But yeah, all you had to do is, like you said, just go all in for it, you know, because you already had him right there for it. But yeah, that move was like definitely DJ-ness right there, you know. So yeah, a la DJ in that one, you know.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm hoping you're putting that in the universe. I want that one, man, and hopefully it happens in the UFC.
Hey, like you said you practice it too. So it's not just one of those things to where it's like, all right, you know, I just happen to do it. Like to me, the Joaquin Buckley knockout over Impa Kasagna was one of those, all right, my leg was caught. I just happened to do this. It was only one thing to do, one move. That move that you're doing is not that. You know, you're practicing it. So yeah, man, I seen it, you know, and I was like, whoa, this is something else, you know, this is something else. I don't know if a lot of people did that or if they know about that move, but I guarantee after this interview that you're going to get some more views on that little highlight video that you got on your YouTube channel, man, because you're over there cooking up a lot of stuff over there, not just burgers, right?
Yeah, man, you know, there's a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to get a skate video going here soon. It's kind of cool to actually be able to have like a real skate video because basically my old sponsors, like Hobo and a couple other sponsors I used to have that I used to skate for, they just came out with a regular camera and filmed me, but I didn't really have money to get filmed or like be out traveling and do the things I wanted to do even at that age. Again, I still already had kids. I had my first kid right after I turned 18, you know, so it was like that was already a thing, and just life was changing pretty quickly for me. So never got a chance to put out that footage. So now I got a really good videographer I've been working with. And I'm just going to do a bunch of things that I'm having fun with, man. You know, I'm going to go skydiving here in the next 2 weeks. So I'll be having some footage of that as well. Yeah, and just have fun, man. Life is long, but it can be great, you know, and you can do a lot of things with it. So for me, I'm just trying to do as much fun things as I can. And also, you know, enjoy the journey as long as it's here.
And it seems like you've been doing that even before getting into the UFC, you know. So some people, you know, they see somebody and they're like, oh, okay, you know, now he's doing this. Nah, it seems like, you know, you really are who you are before you got noticed, you know, with being on the, oh man, he's on Sugar's camp with them on Undisputed or Embedded, you know, oh, he's at the LFA getting noticed, you know. It seems like you just really are who you are. You know, so I will say that, you know, so keep doing that, man. And like I said, I've seen your content out there is really original too. One thing I want to ask about is your daily routine. Talk to me about that Alpha Brain thing that you take and how that actually helps you, because you put me onto that, and I'm actually gonna start to do some research on it.
So Alpha Brain, basically it's on its products. And I go on and off on taking it, but I like to take it whenever I can. It's just expensive, man, right? Like that's the biggest thing. Like putting it, you know, maybe I can afford it now, but it's expensive to stay up on. But it's basically different types of mushrooms, all organic mushrooms that they put together, and it just stimulates a better cognitive type of thought, right? It doesn't necessarily make you think better. It helps clear up some of those cobwebs that are inside your brain so that your mind can react more efficiently, you know? And I do feel a difference when I am taking that, just mentally. I just feel like I can be more focused. I feel like I can direct my thing. I can direct and be more efficient with my time. It's a product that I really like. Again, I haven't been able to take it like I want to take it, just because it is pretty expensive to get the. Like, my buddy ended up giving me a 90-day, 2 90-day bottles of it. So I had like 180 days worth of it which was great for like 6 months. But then after it was over, I was like, wait, that's $72 for that? Oh man, I'm gonna have to put that on the back burner.
Yeah. Like, it was good though. Thanks for letting me try it. Thanks for giving me that. But yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Right?
I was
Hey,
like, man,
it's
that's
like
the
I go to
plug.
the
You
work.
plugged me for sure, bro.
I go to like the workout store, and it's like, all right, cool. I bought my protein powder. Then I'm like, you got any free samples? Yeah, this pre-workout. Cool. Hey, I really think you should get this one. Nah, thanks for those samples though.
Yep, man. Hey, staying healthy is not cheap for sure.
Hell yeah, man. All right, man. I want to ask, man. I got a little thing I like to call, how do you beat them? I want to know, based on this, just based on your style and how you see certain fighters, how would you beat them? All right, it's only one way to go. Alexander Volkanovski, how do you beat him?
I think you beat him by mirroring him and cutting him off, right? Like, and then you have to cut him off so that he can't utilize his movement, which is a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to cut him off. He's using a lot of pendulum kicks. He's using that rear reap. He does a lot of great things, I think that's because I think that to beat him, they're going to have to be able to outstrike and make him feel uncomfortable in the striking department so that they can get the takedown smoothly without exerting so much energy. Because you look at all the guys, even I can't say his name, I can't say his name,
Islam.
Islam, but even Islam, had a harder time getting those takedowns. And I just think that you have to really strike with him to get those takedowns. So I think that's what it is. You have to mirror him, kind of use those pendulum steps that he's doing, pull him in, draw him in, land strikes. But yeah, that's what I would say for the most part.
Yair Rodriguez, how do you beat him?
Pressure. I think you have to pressure him. You have to make sure and pressure him and go to the body often, And I mean, I think that means even taking some. You got to be willing to take a couple with that guy too, because you're going to have to close that distance. And when you close that distance, you're going to have to make it a dogfight, He's just so good on the outside. He's so long. He has so many tools. Any of those kicks can come up at any moment and just take you out. So I think that's the best thing. And honestly, I guess I've never really seen his back game, and how he plays off of his back on the ground. But yeah, I guess I'm always thinking from the striking perspective.
All right, just a few more, huh? Up and comers. Ilia Topuria, how do you beat him?
Man, I don't know. I'm not sure if I know him.
Got it. No worries on that. I got one that you will know though. Max Blessed Holloway, how do you beat him?
Oh man, the way Volkanovski beat him, I think that, eat up his legs with pendulum kicks, inside kicks, low kicks, feigning high up with the punches, getting them to go up high with the punches, attacking the body, moving around the outside, but picking at him too, I think Volkanovski, pretty much laid the foundation for the best way to beat him. Because, man, if Max gets going, it's a problem, period. Once his hands start going, he doesn't miss. And, he don't miss, and then he'll throw 300, 400 punches at you. So,
yeah, man, so you already got a game plan for those fighters right there. I know, this is a question that like a lot of fighters get asked. I know you did take that fight on short notice. But I mean, down the line, if you were to ever move up, would you be move divisions? Would you be looking to move up or move down?
Oh, definitely up. Definitely up. I don't plan on moving up. If I could solidify myself at 35 and be at 35 and do great things at 35 and then make some good fights at 45, cool. That sounds good. Just for the company, maybe a short notice falls off at 45 and they need somebody and I've been stapled in there. It's a good fight. It's a fun fight. I'm a company man. I'm down to oblige for those type of things, later on too. So I'm not against those type of things, but it'd definitely be up. There's no way I could ever make 25. 35, I wouldn't say 35 is hard. I just have to be very diligent and disciplined about making that 135-pound weight limit. But again, I've never had an issue doing it. When I do go for it, it's not the easiest thing, but I do it. I got a happy smile on my face. I'm cheerful during weigh-ins. I get to sleep well, so I don't think I'm deteriorating my body too bad getting down there just yet.
Let me ask this then. How would you beat Aljo?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that you outstrike Aljo. I think that you outstrike him, make him shoot, and not be there, right? I mean, tough task, right? Aljo is so unorthodox. He throws a lot of different combinations. He'll throw kicks as well. He mixes his strikes into his kicks as well. And then the way he shoots and the way that he grapples is like, you know, it's great, you know. So I mean, that's what I think. I think you outstrike him. I think that if you try to grapple with him, he's really good at stalemating too, right? He's really good at finding positions where he can hold and dominate those positions and not get called up, you know, but not necessarily have to work a whole lot, you know, not have to exert too much energy. He's really good about getting in those positions and just making the guy just hold his weight, you know. And he's winning those fights that way too, so it's extremely impressive. So I definitely think you outstrike him. I think you do. You have to put his lights out like Marlon Moraes. You have to set him up, make him make a bad shot, and then take him out. You know, either with the knee up top, uppercut. You know, but I definitely think it's going to be like setting him up to make a mistake and then taking him out.
So what's up, man? Sugar SeanO'Malley. He's gonna be able to take him out, man. You guys gonna be able to get it done.
Hey, I'm a team guy, so you know I'm gonna be there with him the whole way. And this is fighting, bro. My guys know me. You know, I have belief in on my team. You know, but just like I have belief in myself, that doesn't change the fact that I don't have belief in Aljamain Sterling. You know, he's done his work. His pedigree is there. You know, and he's gonna be a tough fight. I definitely believe Sugar has the tool sets that he needs to be able to finish Aljo, but it is going to be a tough task. He's going to have to show up like he does. That's one thing about Sugar. He shows up in those moments, you know. I think people take that for granted. Like, he shows up and he's there to fight, and he's great at what he does. So I definitely think it's going to be a tough fight, hard fight. You know, if Aljo does get in his dominant positions, it doesn't matter who Aljo gets in those dominant positions. If Aljo's on your back, it's dangerous, right? It doesn't matter. Just like the guy who beat me. If he's on your back, he has a really good chance of finishing you from that position. So especially in the first round, right?
Nah, man. Yeah, definitely, man. Like you said, though, I mean, some of the tools that Sugar got definitely could outstrike the best of them. You seen him put people's lights out before. And I'll be honest, man, a lot of people in the MMA community, after that Yan fight, they were looking at Sugar like, yeah, man, we mess with him now. Like, he got his respect. You know, he went in there with a dog and gave us a great performance. Didn't back out, didn't circle around the cage and try to fight pretty at all. He gave us a great fight performance. So, like, yeah, man, it's gonna be entertaining, man. One thing I noticed, though, I want to ask about, man. So out there in Arizona, man, you know, you got two great camps. You know, you got the MMA lab, of course, you know, and then you got Fight Ready, right? Of course, you know, gyms don't always get along, but to me, though, just hear me out on this. Like, why it seems to me like the MMA lab, they got like, how can I say this? They got like those guys at high school that was cool with like the varsity jackets and like, you know, standing at the end of the hallway, everybody shaking their hand and giving them dab and talking to them. But Fight Ready seems like they got the guys that was like sitting at the desks, you know, like already in class, you know, before the bell rang and stuff. Do you catch my drift, man? It seems like you know, all the cool guys are training at MMA lab, you know, out there in Arizona. What do you feel about that?
It's funny you say that because it's like the opposite, right? They were the cool guys, the high school, college wrestlers, you know. They were the cool guys with the bling and already, you know, those they were the cool guys. We were all like the goofy nerds that like anime and kind of, you know, just love fighting, but kind of, you know, did our own thing. You know, look at Jared. Jared's into like crystals and like anime and like different things like that as well. But then, I mean, he's an absolute savage out there, you know. It's like Mario. Mario doesn't say much. Mario's very quiet and reserved, but he's murdering guys out there, you know, murdering guys in the first round and making it look like he's just on a whole nother level of guys. Kyler as
Richard,
well.
A few others that they don't know about. My boy Richard Palencia in Bellator broke his foot. I was at that fight with him. Watch out for him when he recovers.
I'm telling you. Rich.
Ung Ho or whatever his name is fighting on LFA this week. Y'all better watch out. Am I speaking?
Yes, no, 100%. Paul Magana, dude. We have Alexis Martinez. Man, if people really want to see some great fights, they should tune in to this LFA this weekend because I mean I'm always an advocate for my team, but these guys are savages. Chance Ikee just went to 125 pounds, like making his pro debut. You know what I'm saying? Okay. There's gonna be a lot of great fights that happen on the LFA card. I'm super excited. I was actually hoping and I was begging begging Barry to get me on that card. I was like, please get me on the card. I can't not be on this card. It's here in Arizona. All these crazy killers on it. Please, I'll take anything, you know. And then the UFC called, so I was like, oh, great, you know, great. I'll take this instead. But that's why I was like, man, I was hoping to get on it because, yeah, the team's coming strong. There's going to be a lot of great guys out there. And, yeah, I just put our team against everybody. We work really hard. We're really family oriented, you know. Like I feel like I know more about the guys. It's not that we hang out outside the gym all the time, you know, but it's like we really do put pieces of ourselves into each other's camp, you know. So it's really cool. Jakar Close, you know, so many of these guys, he's about to come back and be on a storm. I'm telling you, which he was already on the one before he ended up out, you know. He came back and was doing great. So I'm definitely excited to watch these guys grow and then grow alongside of him.
Yeah, no, man, you're right. This LFA card, and it's gonna be some bangers on it, man. I know. It was one fight I was looking forward to. His fight got canceled. He's from the other side, though. He's a welterweight. My boy Ray Waters. You know about him because he's out there, right?
Yeah. I've met Ray Waters a couple times. He's a good dude. I like him. You know, I like him a lot. Yeah, and I was excited to see that one too. I was excited to see him do his thing. You know, I didn't know it got canceled. That's garbage.
Yeah, it got canceled, man. I seen it like 3-4 days ago, you know. But yeah, so you're dead on with that one, man. So hey, man, great talking to you, man. I'm gonna give you the platform right now to shout out all your sponsors and anything like that. Over here at Puck Sports Radio, you know, I'm in California, but the station is in San Antonio, Texas. Anytime you're in the San Antonio, Texas area, stop by. They have a bar, restaurant, live karaoke. The owner will take care of you, your family, your camp, everybody, you know. So just anytime you're in the San Antonio, Texas area, remember Pub Sports Radio, Marcus, and you know, definitely we'll take care of you over here. One question my guy Slaughter likes to always ask is there any superstitions or family traditions you guys got in the McGhee family?
Nothing. No, not really. You know, probably some generational curses that we can get rid of. but other than that, no, I wouldn't say any superstitions. You know, just bad info at certain points, probably.
Got it, man. So go ahead, shout out all your sponsors and stuff, and let them know about your YouTube channel. Let them know about everything you got growing and everything like that. You know, right now the floor is yours.
Yeah, so thank you. I appreciate you for bringing me on and letting me use your platform as well. It's been awesome to have the conversation and just to get to know you a little bit too. So thank you for that. And then, my sponsor that's been riding with me for the longest time, that's been grinding out here with me, G4 Grown 4. It's a cannabis company out here. Just the culture that they put on and the mentality they have behind cannabis is just unmatched out here in Arizona. I absolutely love everything they're doing. George Roop and Brian Ward over there. So definitely shout out to those guys. Also, you know, I drive a lifted truck, you know, lifted trucks out here, hooking it up with the merch as well. Mental Joe, just going over just suicide awareness and just, you know, making sure that men understand that it's right to speak and that they have an outlet to speak. And he has an apparel company that's like into like doing different types of alternative medicines to heal the mind, you know, especially the veterans and things like that. So Mental Joe apparel out here is great. Also Core Chiropractic taking care of me. And then as far as my socials, you know, I'm on Instagram I'm on Instagram the most, Twitter some too. But I'm on Instagram the most. So Maniac_McGhee MMA for my Instagram, and then Maniac McGhee 07 for my Twitter. I have multiple different YouTube channels that I'm working on right now, but my main YouTube, Maniac McGhee for my YouTube, and then Punches and Pints is the podcast I started a few months ago. So that's been going great. We just kind of go over. One of my buddies from Elevated Seltzer, which is another sponsor out here, they hosted my watch party for the UFC. It was an awesome event. But we have our podcast together with one of the guys that are affiliated with them named Brett. We just joke around, talk about old times, future times, new times, different things going on around. So I'm really having a lot of fun with that. And then I just started Munchies with Marcus, which is basically going to be a cooking show. You know, I just did my first episode drop, having a lot of fun with that, just showing people my goofy side, you know, just the other side of me that most people don't get to see. So I'm going to enjoy keeping that going. Got some tacos coming for the audience soon, so that'll be dope as well. And so that's everything I'm doing for the most part. And there's a couple other things, but I'm going to keep those packaged up until they're ready to present.
Like that, man. Hell yeah, man. It was a pleasure talking to you right now, here at Pub Sports Radio, Second South. Anytime, you got anything you want to do, don't be afraid, hit us up. We could do anything for you. If it's, a commercial for your cooking channel or anything like that, and for your sponsors or anything like that too. We got over 24,000 viewers right here, and we go MMA crazy over here. So we definitely got your back. We riding with you all the way until, man. So
I
appreciate
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you, man. Thank you. And that sounds awesome. I might have to take you up on that, man, because I'm all new to it. I got great team members around me, but all new to it, just having fun with it, and I could definitely use it as much information. I'm a white belt right now, no stripes.
Hey, we got you here, man. We got one of the best video editors, Teron. We got one of the best producers, Jose and Big Show. And I mean, shit, man, we got the best goddamn channel and chat network out here, man. Pub Sports Radio, man. Number
That's
one
awesome.
MMA source, man, right here, Pub Sports.
Heck yeah. Well, I appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate it again for having me on. Yeah, I hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, definitely, man. Right when you get that next fight, man, to let us know, man, because we'll be right back in there to talk about how we're gonna make the Maniac, get on another fight win streak and get that 50K bonus.
That's what I'm talking about. Hopefully, I can get on that August card with Suge and Mario. That would be perfect. So that'd be dope. I appreciate that.
Why not? I mean, you know how it goes, man. When the star fights, they usually like to bring around who he has on their camp all the time. So it would only be right, on that. So hey, Dana, McMahon, Sean, make it happen, man. Make it
Yes,
happen.
sir. I like that.
All right, man. Appreciate everybody rocking with us. MMA Locker Room here, Pub Sports Radio. Hit the comment, hit the like. Let us know what was your best comment that you guys liked out here. Let the Maniac know, what was the best fight that you guys looked them up. Everybody, go look up that flying knee into a rear naked choke. You'll thank me later. MMA Locker Room, man. Pub Sports Radio, the Maniac right here. Catch you guys next week, same time, Pub Sports Radio.
Thank you, brother.